Hello, welcome to another edition of Harvest Asset Management's monthly market review. In this macroeconomic context, there has been a steady rise in inflation across the year 2023, right from the COVID-19 period, intensified by the Russian-Ukrainian war. This war between Russia and Ukraine brought about a disruption in supply chain, thereby importing inflation into this sub-region. As seen on the graph on the screen, we can see that there has been a steady rise in inflation with a peak in the month of March 2023. This caused the authorities to react, thereby adjusting the budgetary and monetary policies, as you can see on the graph. This adjustment in budgetary policies led to a control of inflation, thereby bringing it to a reduction. According to these trends, we expect the central bank to maintain these monetary policies right up to the month of June 2024. Despite this inflationary situation, there has been a great volatility in the price of crude oil, as you can see on the graph. This volatility has been due to the fact that there has been a reduction in the share price of crude oil in the month of March, and equally, there have been cuts in the supply of crude oil, especially for the months of April, the month of June by Russia and Saudi Arabia, and the month of December 2023. Global economic growth, mainly driven by the variation in the policies of the central banks across the states, have made the price of crude oil to hover around $98 per barrel. Overall, we expect the price of crude oil to hover around $80 per barrel in 2024. In addition to this inflationary situation and the great volatility in the price of crude oil, the CEMAC states have shown great resilience in 2023. As you can see on the graph, Cameroon, Congo, Chad, and Gabon have had great increments in the economic growth for 2024. Unlike Equatorial Guinea, which has been in recession in 2023, we are going to see an increase in economic growth in 2024 with a smaller gap. In addition to the macroeconomic aspects seen earlier, we can see from the graph that the financial rating of CEMAC states have been modified. For the case of Cameroon, there has been a drop in the financial rating. For the case of Congo, we have seen an increase considerably. And in the case of Gabon, we have seen a drop. In 2024, we anticipate that for the case of Cameroon, there is going to be an increase in the rating, contrary to that of 2023. For the case of Congo, we are going to see that there is going to be maintenance and an increase in the financial rating, unlike that of Gabon, which we anticipate that there is going to be a drop. For this, we await the publishing of the ratings of Central African Republic and Equatorial Guinea. Concerning the budgetary envelopes of the CEMAC states, we can see on the graph that CEMAC states are going to increase their budgetary envelopes for 2024. For the case of Cameroon and Gabon, we are going to see that there is going to be a considerable increase in their budgetary envelopes, equally for that of Congo, Central African Republic, and Chad. These increases in budgetary envelopes is due to the fact that there's going to be an increase in the production of petrol. Concerning the budgetary envelope of the CEMAC states, Gabon, Congo, Central African Republic, and Chad are going to increase their budgetary envelopes by considerable percentages. This is due to the fact that there is going to be an increase in the supply of petrol and gas within the states. Despite the macroeconomic aspects of 2023, there have equally been great variations in the capital market during the year 2023. In this, we have had a bull market of 22.4%, driven mainly by the bond segment of the market. You can see on a graph that there has been equal variations in the market capitalization in the bond segment of the market. The market capitalization in this bond segment has increased by 24.3%, mainly driven by the entry of the bonds of Chad, BGAC, and Cameroon. On the other segment of the market, which is the equity sector of the market, we can see on the graph that we have equally had some great variations. These variations brought about an increase in the capitalization of 5.5% during the year 2023. This increase in capitalization has been due to the fact that the shares of Socapam, Safacam, Bangre, and SHRE have had valuations, unlike the shares of SIAT that has been delisted from the market and SCMC, which have had a devaluation. At this point in time, our market debt ratio is at 9.1% of the global domestic product of the CEMAC states, and we can see on the screen that the market debt for the year 2023 situates itself as 6,342 billion francs CFA. With this, we anticipate a continuous increase in the market debt, and we envisage reaching a point 7,500 billion francs CFA in the years to come. After having looked at the evolution in market debt in 2023, we are going to look at the cost of mobilization of resources in the CEMAC sub-region. For the case of Cameroon, we can see on the graph that the yield curve of September has increased globally as compared to that of January 2023. This is explained in the short term by the fact that there has been monetary tightening policies set in place by the central bank in order to curb inflation, and in the long term, there has been an increase in inflation, as we saw earlier, and equally a degradation in the financial rating of Cameroon. As concerns 2024, we are going to see an increase in the yield curve above the normal due to the fact that the monetary policies set in place by the central bank are maintained, and in the long run, the yield curve is going to go up below the present moment due to the fact that inflation is under control, and there's going to be an amelioration in the financial rating of Cameroon. For the case of Gabon, we can see on the graph that there is an increase in the yield curve between the short term and the long term, comparing September 2023 and January 2023. In the short term, this is due to the fact that the monetary tightening policies of the central bank in order to curb inflation are going to keep the yield curves above normal, and in the long run, this wider gap is due to the fact that there has been a degradation in the financial rating of Gabon, an increase in inflation, and a slow economic growth. For 2024, we expect the yield curves overall to be above that of the present, but in the long run, this yield curve is going to be closer to the present moment due to the fact that inflation is going to be under control, there's going to be economic growth, but the financial rating of Gabon is going to be depreciating. Unlike in the short term, where you can see that this yield curve is going to be above normal due to the fact that the monetary policies set in place by the central bank are still going to be maintained. For the case of Congo, unlike Cameroon and Gabon, we can see that the yield curve of September 2023 and that of January 2023 has had a smaller gap as compared to that of Gabon. This is due to the fact that in the long term, there has been an increase in the financial rating of Congo and an increase in economic growth. As concerns 2024, there is going to be an increase in the yield curve in the short term above that of September 2023. This will be due to the fact that the monetary policies set in place by the central bank are going to be maintained in order to curb inflation, and in the long run, we expect inflation to drop. We expect the financial rating of Congo to be maintained, and there's going to be economic growth for 2024. After a brief review of the macroeconomic context and the financial context of the CEMAC sub-region in 2023, some points to watch out for in 2024. We thank you for your kind attention and hope to see you next month for another edition of Harvest Asset Management's Monthly Market Review.